And before we finish, it gives me great pleasure to ask and to invite Colin Elmer back to the lectern.
I'm not doing any more Kenneth, don't worry. Right. This is a note given by a guest who was supposed to be here today, but unfortunately was unable due to, I believe, a broken arm. So Adam has asked if I would read the following out to you. Hello, everyone. It's great to have you all here celebrating not only the launch of this book, which looks fascinating, but of course the life of Kenneth Williams. My apologies for not being with you in person, though I would still like to relay a few words, and I thank Adam for allowing me to do so. My name is Robert Chidell, and I'm Kenneth's godson. Kenneth became friends with my grandmother's brother, John Vere, way back in the 1940s, I believe. John Vere was also an actor, appeared on Hancock's Half Hour. So, a long time ago, way back before Kenneth was even famous. My dad said he remembers being 10 years old and going out for a family meal. Kenneth had been invited as well, and my dad, being a self-conscious young child, was extremely embarrassed as Kenneth was in full flow, getting the attention of the whole restaurant just by being his outrageous self. Yes. Sorry. And probably then in his late 20s, which I was. But that was Kenneth. He could switch it on and engage people, whether it was one-on-one or with an audience with. He was brilliant at engaging everyone and then dazzling them with his wit, humour, intelligence, and quickness. He was one of a kind. And I think that's why we're all here today. We miss him because he was just that, one of a kind. And people like that are really hard to come by. With his over-the-top gasp about whatever it may be on his many television appearances, his razor-sharp wit, and his unique-sounding voice, which would cut the air the second that he spoke, Kenneth was an unusual human being with an ability seldom seen. Now, one of the things I really liked about Kenneth was how he would say what he thought. He'd sometimes start arguments on interviews in heated debate, and you can watch them nowadays, of course, on YouTube. He had strong points of view, and unlike so many agreeable people, he would speak up, a rare quality I always look for in other people. I only met Kenneth once, when I was a 10-year-old boy, though I wish I could have met him more. He did carry me at my christening, which I can't remember for obvious reasons, but my father can, saying how funny it was, as Kenneth was taking the christening very, very seriously, having to repeat after the vicar as he was sworn in as my godfather. But with the sound of his theatrical voice ringing around this Highgate church in North London, as if it were a play, piercing the air in his unmistakable way. When I did meet Kenneth at my grandmother's flat in 1985, I remember him making me laugh so much my stomach hurt. He was switched on and in good humour. He would also send me birthday cards and keep in touch with me and my family. We were lucky to have that connection with him. I also remember when he died. I was 12, and my mum told me on the way home from school. I later discovered that I had been included in his will. To this day, I still don't know why, but I am eternally grateful to him. Now, part of the legalities included in the will was that I would go to his flat in London after he had passed away and just take things, personal possessions of his, for me to keep, which I found very strange. And when me and my mum went to his flat, I was instantly struck about how plain it was. This larger-than-life character just lived in the simplest of surroundings, which emphasized that there was another side of this showbiz Kenneth, the quiet and the private side. I have a few of his smaller week-by-week diaries at home, and I've looked through them occasionally, in fact, many times. They read Monday, shopping, Tuesday, dentist, and then show. When I read this, it reaffirmed the two opposing sides to Kenneth's life, which was all famous people must experience to varying degrees, of course. I thought how it must have got very tiring for him to have to keep switching on the Kenneth that we all knew on film, on television, on radio, and then reverting then to his normal self in private. Maybe I'm wrong, but I imagine that it was pretty tiring sometimes. I also remember coming out of his memorial service and having the press surround me, asking me lots of questions. What was the service like then, eh? They asked. And I said it was very respectful and peaceful. A lovely service for a great man. A few days later, the Sun newspaper printed, "Godson says service was fun," which annoys me to this day. But that's the press. They exaggerate the truth because, as we all know, it sells papers. Anyway, I miss him greatly. We all do. And I believe we can all carry on Kenneth's spirit in our daily lives by being just a little bit more daring, a bit wilder, pushing the boundaries a little more, and asking a few more questions, and saying maybe what we think. Anyway, all our loves goes out to you, Kenneth. Thank you for being you. We will never forget you. Thank you all for listening, and of course, stop messing about. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do the thanks now because I really do think the last word and the last image that we see should be of the man himself. And so in a couple of moments' time, we will play our last clip. But in the meantime, can I obviously thank everyone for coming again. I just think it's appropriate at this stage just to remember that we would not be here if it was not for the author of this great book. And I'd ask him to take a stand and take a round of applause. Adam. Well done. As I've said to you, you're welcome to stay for about 6:30, and then we have to close up. But you're welcome to stay and talk and sign and books and things. 30 years ago today, many of us were in tears. We were. I was. And 30 years later, we're all laughing. And what greater legacy can anyone have? However you lived your life, whether you were happy or sad, that you can leave thousands of people, millions over the years, happy and joyful. We have DVDs, we have CDs, we have streaming facilities. We can see the things, we've seen stuff today that we haven't seen in maybe 30 years. That's the joy of this generation. Jim Dale said to me that the sadness of the last generation was he couldn't see Dan Leno on stage because they couldn't film it 100 years ago. But we can see Kenneth and we can listen to Kenneth every day if we wanted to. 30 years ago, we were in tears. Today, we're smiling and we're laughing. And I want to thank everyone for coming and taking the time today. Everyone, whether you're a fan, a celebrity, we're all fans today. We're all part of it. I would salute him. I don't drink, as you know, but I would salute him if he was here, wherever he is. I hope he knew when he was alive how much he meant to people. He certainly means that much to us when he's not here. And I'm grateful to have been allowed to be part of this event today, Adam. And I'm going to say, we're going to hand over now to the man himself to finish us off for the day. Hope you've had a good time. Thank you all for coming.
En est soi qui mal y pense, fait toujours reconnaissance. Amir Smith, palais des danses, badinage, ma crêpe Suzette, du blanc tendre, restaurante, Jacques Cousteau, Yves Saint-Laurent. Où est la plume dématante? C'est la vie, ma crêpe Suzette. Crossage, massage, frère Jacques. Salon, par avion, Pétula-Clark. Fiancés ensemble, lorgnette, lingerie, des toilettes, gauloise, cigarette, entourage, ma crêpe Suzette, citron, mirage, caravelle, odeur. cachetiste, fuselage, ma crêpe, Suzette, pince-nez, bidet, commissionnaire, mon repos, Brigitte Bardot, je songe frontière, et ça n'a qu'un nez. Yeah, the song, not the French. Faut pas compris, espionnage, gruyère, camembert, fromage, mayonnaise, honnête garage, RSVP, ma crêpe Suzette.